It's the third week of the month, which means pretty much that the Matty.com, MattyCollector.com subscriptions ship out, and this month from the Club Infinite Earths, we get 2 figures, a regular size figure and an oversized figure. We'll start with the regular size figure, which is Starman. You can see the box here. Very nice. I do like how they do this. You get the wonderful box art on the side there, and a fuller picture of the same art on the back, and you get a little write-up as well. And moving on to the figure here, he's pretty nice, and I really like the way they've carried off the sort of star field. He's cast in this smoky, translucent plastic, so that, if it's gonna be hard to see, but let's see if you can, with the light here, you can kind of see it. It really doesn't allow you to see that far through him, but he does have this layer of glitter added to him to simulate the star field. Unfortunately, the smokiness allows you to see sort of like how the figure is put together on the interior. So if you have really a light that's shined directly behind him, you can kind of make out where joints and stuff go together, and it does kind of ruin the illusion. But if you're not directly, there's no light directly behind him and your line of sight, you do get that sort of depth that they want if you're looking at space, like on his suit. And they've done that a couple of times with other figures, so they really knew how to do it. The one bad part, I think, about this, or the one mistake, is that they did not give him a Legion ring. Now, I realize this is supposed to be sort of his JSA appearance, but I'm pretty sure that he still had the Legion ring. He was just, trapped in the 21st century instead of the 31st century, and I don't think he would have let his ring go, but I may be mistaken. Actually, he may have given his ring up when he decided to stay behind. But anyway, I would have much preferred to have a ring there than no ring. And it's kind of unfortunate, since you could have put him either with your Legion or in your JSA sort of setup. And now I think he'll probably just be a member of the JSA in my setup. There is a little bit of sort of oddness in that the way the lower legs match to the torso. There's a slight deviance in the color, but it's not too bad. That's about all I can find with the paint. The white on here is very nice. A lot better than some of the white portions have been on other DC characters. they tend to go a little bit more gray. Here, I think they've decided to go a little bit with a shiny, not quite pearlized white, and it really does work. It's painted pretty clean on both the sides there, and you notice that he does have it in his eyes as well. Now, he does come with, I guess you could call this an accessory. He comes with another head, and that's his unmasked head. You can just snap off the masked head, and you can put on his bearded head. Very nice, very good facial hair on this sculpt. And Starman, or as a Legion member, first started to take this appearance during the 70s and 80s run, or I shouldn't say run, but period of the Legion, the pre-crisis Legion, and it was, to show that they weren't quite teenagers anymore, and so they gave him a beard and a mustache, and gave him the new Starfield suit during that period too. They did change his Starfield costume out, and with another one, but Alex Ross, during Kingdom Come, he created a Starman with this face on it and the old sort of Starfield suit, and brought that look back in Kingdom Come, and it's kind of, that's the way he's been drawn ever since. And so he brought that design back, minus the unmasked face, and there. So that's sort of become the standard. So thank you, Alex Ross, for yet another great design element, and coming out of Kingdom Come. Now, to get into his articulation, both heads, of course, are pretty well. You got up and down. You move pretty far back there. Get him in a nice forward flying pose. Left and right, side to side a little bit. His arms do go all the way around, out and in. Rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist, ab crunch forward and back, waist articulation, legs forward, back a little bit, in and out, rotate at the thigh, bend at the knee, and bend at the ankle. Standard for all the DC Universe classics, and now the Signature Collection figures. Starman, or Thom Kallor, is from Xanthu, and there are actually a few Xanthians that are part of the Legion, but he was born with the ability to increase mass. He then joins of course, the Legion of Superheroes as Starboy, and several years later, he's kicked out for violating their no-kill policy. He's not a murderer. He was defending his girlfriend, Dream Girl, from her psycho ex-boyfriend, and unfortunately did kill him in defending her. I guess he went and started or joined up with the sort of reserve Legion club called the Legion of Substitute Heroes for a while, until he was kind of welcomed back into the ranks, so to speak. Post Zero Hour, he joined the Legion of Superheroes after the death of the first Kid Quantum, who was also from Xantho, I believe. And he had a relationship with the equivalent of Dream Girl in that iteration of the Legion. I believe she was just called Dreamer, and so that is like a key part of his character, is his devotion and love for Dream Girl. In the Starman series, the James Robinson Starman, focusing on Jack Knight, there's a point where Jack goes into the future, and you find out that Thom Kallor will actually be sent back in time to the 21st century to be the next Starman after Jack Knight. This plan, I guess, took a turn when they rebooted the Legion. Mark Waid did a wonderful job, but it was a total reboot of the established Legion with the new 52, not the actual 52 titles, but the 52 multi-universes created out of, I guess, Infinite Crisis. You found out that he was on Earth, the main DC universe Earth, for some reason, in present time. He was staying at the Sunshine Sanatorium in Opal City when not being a superhero for the city and protector of the city. Now, of course, Opal City was the city that connected all the people in the Starman comic series, and so thus he had fulfilled that sort of hint that he was going to come back as and be the next Starman after Jack Knight. And eventually you found out that this was indeed the original pre-Crisis Crisis on Infinite Earths Starman, and who had come back to the modern time, and somehow through the various series, the Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds, he had jumped, after that series, he had jumped into the Kingdom Come universe, which I think is Earth 22 now, and was that Starman that you see in that story. And so he experienced that story, and then after that managed to return to present day DC universe, and somewhere along the way you learn that his Starfield suit was actually created by the three Brainiacs as a sort of a map to the multiverse, and he actually has the power to transverse the various dimensions and worlds that are in that multiverse. So my feeling is that he was going to be a key part in this whole multiversity sort of series that DC has been batting around for the last 4 years, 5 years, ever since the end of Final Crisis, whenever that came out. And unfortunately, with the new DCU, the new 52, his place is kind of still in limbo. I mean, maybe he'll show up on Earth 2, and we'll see more of him that way. He decides to stay, like when the Legion, or certain members of the Legion are on Earth in the past. He decides to stay there, and he's got some sort of mission. And you find out later in Legion of Three Worlds that his mission is to recover the deceased or the deceased Superboy and put him into the same regeneration chamber that revived Superman when he died, and that will cure him. Unfortunately, it takes 1,000 years for the cure to work. However, Superboy is then sent back in time to be in the present day from the future. And so basically, they get around him being dead, and he's alive again. So, which is pretty nice. And like I said, after that adventure, he decides to stay in the 21st century. He plays a small part in the New Krypton story as a friend of Mon-El, and when he takes over as Superman, or as protector of Metropolis for Superman. And he does appear in the New 52 Legion, which hasn't really changed much, but has moved all the characters back or forward several years. So I guess he did eventually return to that time, and for some reason he's a paraplegic in a wheelchair, and he has quit the Legion of Superheroes to save his love, Dream Girl. And I can't really say more than that. Unfortunately, I've kind of fell out of favor with the Legion, so I'm not really picking it up anymore, which is a shame, because I really did like the Legion really before the New 52, and they lost something afterwards. I don't know what, but I haven't been as interested in it. Neat figure. I'm glad they included it in the line. I really like the extra head, so if you want his older look there, or unmasked look there, I think the only other thing that would have been neat if they included maybe a little Sloppy Joe, just to as an added little nod to fans, because the Sloppy Joes are his favorite food, and they are served at the sanatorium, I think, every Wednesday. Great figure, very happy with him, and stay tuned, and I'll be putting up the other the other figure, the oversized Rocket Red. And until then, I'll see you.